We are wrestling! We are wrestling fans. I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. The bridge is over. So many things could be said about this show, and it was my first WAW show since November of 2022. Pete Rosado, I know you're glad I came back. Alright, so the night begins with Peter Rosado comes out and he announces to the crowd that they will be back in St. Helena's in the Bronx on Friday, November 8th with Protect Your Neck. And he said there'll be a ladder match for the tournament final where the winners will be crowned the first ever WAW Tag Team Champions. He also announces to bring it out to Shane Fair that due to the shenanigans that Dan Moff and Raymond Sanchez pulled earlier this year at I forgot the name of the April show, which I missed, that Pete's going to take a more backstage approach, I guess, and he announced the new commentary team of Sam Laterna, who we know her from House of Glory, and Alphonse Stevens are the new commentary team of WAW. Well, he's, I guess, running things backstage, but it is his promotion to begin with. Okay, and I think Ruthless Lala was sitting with them, at least for the first matchup. But we open up the show with one of the semifinal matches of the tag team title tournament, as we see Sammy Chaos and Jasmine Howe. I forgot who Sammy's initial partner was in the tournament. They took on Dave McCall and Nate Wallace, the Rep. Pretty good matchup these two had to start the night off. Forgot exactly what move put the finishing touches on the match. The Rep defeated Sammy Chaos and Jasmine Howe to advance to the finals of the tag team title tournament, and this match this match went 8 minutes 19 seconds. Hold that thought, everyone. Well, our second matchup of the night, we saw the shot caller Pedro Donis do battle with the Inner City King Jorge Santi. Basic wrestling match out of these two. Jorge Santi defeated Pedro Donis. Unfortunately, I did not time this match. Hopefully, both of these men will be seen in WAW more often. Up next is a return match from one of the WAW events earlier this year, as the good guy, Azrael, took on Prince Ahmed. Now, this match was very good, and a lot of great stuff out of both of these guys. Azrael's a seasoned veteran. Prince Ahmed, I don't know how long he's been wrestling, but he was really hanging with this guy. I would say it was like magic when they touched. And that wound up being a time limit draw, but I didn't hear the bell ring to stop the match. And after the match, the crowd's chatting 5 more minutes. Ahmed and Azrael like arguing with each other. Both of them push down referee Stephen Dumang. But then out comes Peter Rosado and talks about that earlier this year they fought for the first time with 10-minute time limit. It went to a 10-minute draw, and it didn't get it done, and there was no winner. This show they went a 15-minute draw. There was no winner. He announced that at Protect Your Neck, Friday, November 8th, Azrael one-on-one with Prince Ahmed, 2 out of 3 falls. Up next was the 6-train scramble match, as we saw Ben Rutten versus crowd favorite Hot Dog Starks versus Jay Haru versus Tommy Invincible versus Pete Corvus versus Nahir Robles. Pretty much that these 6 individuals put on. Eventually out comes Stan Michael, who's like singing. I don't know what song he was singing or attempting to sing. Eventually, with all the distraction, Robles got on top of, I forgot who, but she scored the pinfall, defeating Pete Corvus, Tommy Invincible, Hot Dog Starks, Ben Rudin, and Jay Haru at 9 minutes, 1 second to pick up the victory. I don't know if the 6-train scramble will be like a constant feature or not in WAW's future events. Next match, we were scheduled to see the Allfather Darius Carter defend the BST Territory Championship against Lucas Chase, but Pete Rosado comes out and said that Lucas had an emergency and he wasn't medically cleared to wrestle. But Pete says to Darius, there's a lot of hungry wrestlers in that locker room, so why don't we have a throwback to your brass ring invitational? And says you'll face not one but 2 wrestlers in a triple threat match. And the 2 men were none other than Brando Lee and Jay Lyon. So these 2 pretty much seized their opportunity. They weren't even booked for the show. Good match these 3 had put on. Darius Carter defeats Brando Lee and Jay Lyon when he hits the Royal Sweep. I forgot, was it on Jay or Brando? And the match went 12 minutes, 56 seconds. After the bout's over, Pete Rosado congratulates Carter on the victory, and he says whether or not you still have that championship, on Friday, November 8th, you're going to go one-on-one with someone who's never wrestled in the Bronx, someone who has been billed from the Bronx, but he's never wrestled in the Bronx, and that is none other than WWE legend Savio Vega. I forgot what Carter said to Peter after that announcement was made, but I know he called Savio an old man. And at that point, Rosado announced to the crowd that it was time for intermission. I'm glad I did go to intermission after this one. I don't know if it was on my way to the bathroom or on my way back from the bathroom. I see Isaac, owner of VXS Wrestling. He and one of the referees, they both said they liked my Bret Hart t-shirt that I had on. It was, for those who didn't notice me at the show, I was wearing a Bret Hart t-shirt. It was like an old, I guess taken from an old picture of Bret with the old Intercontinental belt over his shoulder. I really like that Intercontinental belt. Most of us grew up watching people win that belt, lose that belt, wear that belt. It's a shame they made a new one over the years. Not the one that Braun Breaker has right now, obviously. But anyway, the action resumes as we have the other semifinal match of the tag team title tournament, as we see Nasty Nino Cruz and Chris Barton, Riz and Nasty, as they do battle with representing Prolific, Tyree Taylor and Isaiah Wolf, accompanied the ring by Ruthless Lala. And I apologize if that gentleman that came to the ring with them, whether or not he got an introduction, because I'm not sure what name he goes by. You know, Chris Barton I've known since he used to be in the crowd with me in the past. But these 2 really, really did great. Prolific get the win at 11 minutes 4 seconds to make it to the finals of punching their ticket to the finals of the tag title tournament, of the finals of the tournament in November. After the match, the Rep come out and they attack Riz and Nasty until Prolific makes the save. So I don't know what they're not where they're going with that, but it's kind of odd. Rep could have attacked Prolific to help, fuel the flame or spice things up. Okay. Up next was the match to determine a number 1 contender to the Grand Championship, as we saw former Grand Heavyweight Champion Rob Killjoy go one-on-one with Jared Diaz. Fun match these 2 guys had, and Jared Diaz defeated Rob Killjoy as he put him away with a crossroads that Cody would be proud of at 9 minutes 17 seconds. After that match ends, out comes Anthony Gamble, and all apologies for not getting the other dude's name. But, you know, the crowd was not into this part of the show that happened next. Out comes the last Bronx Italian, forgot what his name was. I forgot what he said, but Gamble grabs this poor guy, gives him 2 over-the-shoulder pile drivers. But then all of a sudden, a masked man comes to the ring, attacks Gamble and the guy he came to the ring with. Again, all apologies for not getting his name. He takes the mask off. It's Sean Donovan. I'm not sure if that's the same exact mask he wore when he pulled the same shenanigans earlier this year when he came out from the crowd at Pro Wrestling Magic and attacked their current champion, the Revolver, Alex Ryman. And all of a sudden, eventually the security, well, not sure if they all are security or they're wrestlers in training or they're wrestlers I didn't recognize, they came out and you could hear Shane Fair on the mic, ringing out to Shane Fair on the microphone say, "Get Sean Donovan out of the building!" And after that chaos settled down, we had a tag team match as we saw You're Awesome, Matt Awesome, and Johnny Santos came out with hookah. As they did battle with Jay Bougie and Pretty Boy Smooth, the Killionaires Club, accompanied by someone who I don't think got an introduction. I apologize if he did because I didn't get his name. I forget at what point that cornerman handed Jay Bougie a little thing of, had a little looked like powder or something. He threw it at Matt Awesome, and he ended up pinning him. Killionaires Club defeat You're Awesome at 7 minutes 42 seconds. After the match, Peter Rosado comes out and he gets on Bougie's case for how he won the match, and he said that at Protect Your Neck on November 8th, Protect Your Neck on November 8th, it will be Jay Bougie against Matt Awesome in a did he say fans bring the Chancletas match? Or fans bring the weapons match? But obviously, Matt Awesome and Jay Bougie look like they're going to finally settle their thing once and for all. And then it was time for the main event, which saw Yaya, the Gifted One, challenge Dan Moff for the Grand Championship. And Moff was really eating up the crowd heat. He was like giving out bird watcher sights for galore. At one point he was thrusting at this dude sitting near me, and of course nobody wants to see that. Damn, what else did I see in this one? Sorry. Eventually, Moff's sitting down in the corner. Yaya goes for a cannonball, but Moff pulls referee Stephen Dumang in the way, and let's just say, as the late Bobby Heenan used to say, club sandwich, hold the mayo. I forgot to mention at the start of the match, Jared Diaz sat at ringside watching. At one point, Moff had Yaya up. He was going to get him with the burning hammer. But Jared Diaz hits the ring and he attacks Moff. Yaya hits a swanton off the top rope. Another referee comes out, makes the 3 count. Seemed like Yaya had won the championship, but Stephen Dumang said he saw Jared Diaz attack Moff and reverse the decision. Dan Moff defeats Yaya, the Gifted One, by reverse decision at 19 minutes 12 seconds to retain the championship. But then all of a sudden, Moff, Diaz, and Yaya have a 3-way brawl. Somebody come out trying to break it up. But then out comes Peter Rosado, and he hits the ring, and he pretty much chews Moff out. He says, we were friends for 12 years. You're disrespecting the people. You're disrespecting that championship belt. And then Moff, I don't know if he just threw Pete down on the mat or if something went wrong there. And at that point, Diaz went to cover Peter, and then Yaya tried to get at Moff, but Moff leaves the ring with the belt. And there's a lot of ways they can go with this scenario. I mean, As it stands right now, Jarrett Diaz is the #1 contender based on his victory over Rob Killjoy. All right. What they could do a three-way bout November 8th with Diaz, Moff, and Yaya. Or they might do some angle where Peter Rosado strips Moff of the championship. So who knows where they're going to go with this. They got a lot of ways they could go. There could be more ways they could go with this other than the ways I mentioned. All right, personal notes. Good seeing Stella, my little buddy Catherine Castro. Miss Castro, I think we got to get an updated picture, friend. I got a picture of ring announcer Shane Fair after the show was over. As I said, Isaac of VXS Wrestling was in attendance for this one. I noticed Mike Law, Stephen Dominguez's brother, was, I believe, doing producer duty behind the curtain. He did come out, not the curtain where the wrestlers go to and from the ring, but that stage curtain. I saw him come out, and I think he's totally bald now, unless I'm wrong. The crowd was let in. Well, we know most people know the drill when it comes to indie wrestling, that they're not prompt with opening the doors. It was 7 o'clock arrived, and they didn't open up, didn't let the crowd in yet. It was some point between 7 and 7:10, which isn't bad, that they opened up and started letting the crowd in. I think it's safe to say I sat on the right side of the room because so many next to me, around me, and even those behind me were really into this show and screaming their heads off. I don't know if I don't know if I can like get a seat on that side of the room from this point on at WAW events. Let me see here. No, they were selling food at the event, but you know, it was a 10-minute wait for the hot dogs. And I also ordered fries, but by the time I got back to my seat and got to eat everything, some of those fries got hard. So I don't think I'm going to buy food at the shows anymore. I'll probably stop somewhere on the way over. And speaking of getting to the shows, I was very tired from having to work. I ended up taking the Q44 bus from Jamaica, Queens to get to the show. Because I gotta say, that 6 train takes 20 fucking years to get from lower Manhattan all the way to the Bronx. And especially with rush hour and so many people most people probably heading home from work, and who knows if I would have encountered any homeless people who won't take no for an answer when it comes to money and stuff. So, good thing I did that. It took like over an hour with that bus ride. And good thing I took the bus from there, because as the bus ride went along, it got crowded, people had to stand, and I don't think I would have been able to do that, especially after working an 8-hour shift, mostly on my feet. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll say this, if we're going to continue to name, if you're going to continue to name shows after song titles, I got a few in mind you might want to use. It's, especially if you take another hiatus like you did, because this was the first show in months since like April for WAW. Okay. All right, I got home. Maybe it's a good thing I took the Q44 back. Took the 44 bus back, knowing how slow that 6 train is. I took it back and I got home. It was already past 1 o'clock in the morning when I got home. I wonder if the 6 train scramble, is that going to be a regular thing? Maybe try to do it every show or not? Well, here's some memorable quotes. The Giant Baba of New York. This young man who was in front of me in line waiting to get in when Peter Rosado walked right by us. Who are you? Oh, Robert Lottie. Shane Fair when he announced that Mike Mittens was in attendance and says, "Oh, you know you've come to a good show if Mike Mittens is in attendance," he says. Well, okay. You know, since I came right from work for this event, I didn't have my megaphone with me. Funny thing is, somebody in the crowd, sitting on the same side of the room I was at, had a megaphone and also had an air horn. You know, one of those beep things. All right? Funny thing is, I couldn't help but, that was shades of my late friend, Paul Rose. Roes. For those who don't know, that's a wrestling fan who was around long ago, and it's been years since he passed away. He was the fan known for yelling, "Give it to him!" or "Give it to her!" And, you know, now I kind of do it in his memory now. Because I used to, after meeting him, I would do that through his routine or his gimmick at shows that he missed. And now it's been over a decade since he passed away. It's kind of a way for me to pay homage to that wonderful man. I wish he was still here today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are wrestling. Returns to action on Friday night, November 8th at St. Helena's in the Bronx as they present Protect Your Neck. Already announced for this show, it's a ladder match, which is the tournament final to crown wrestling. We are wrestling their first tag team champions, as it will be the Rep, Nate Wallace and David McCall, as they do battle with Prolific's Isaiah Wolf and Tyree Taylor. From there, we will see the All-Father Darius Carter goes one-on-one with former WWE legend superstar Savio Vega. Also, it's Prince Ahmed versus Azrael 3, 2 out of 3 falls. Okay, like I said, ladder match for the tag team title. Savio Vega versus Darius Carter. Prince Ahmed versus Azrael, 2 out of 3 falls. Wait, I thought there was another match. Wait, I'm sorry, folks. Shoot. Alright, yeah. Well, those are the 3 matches that were announced officially to the crowd. no word, official word on the Grand Championship. Jarrett Diaz is number one contender. Again, I don't know if it'll be him and Moff one-on-one or he, Moff, and Yaya in a three-way. Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, my. Uh, I would like to see November 8th. I don't know how often it's happened in We Are Wrestling, but how about a women's match? That's different for everybody, and not just because it's women. I really wish I could. It's very difficult for me to make Friday night shows, as evidenced by this long and winding road, as the Beatles say, to get from work to get to the show. And because I think if I had thing is, I work till 4:45 during the week, and usually I would come home 6 o'clock or later. So who knows, if I had gone home first just to get the megaphone and everything, I would have I probably wouldn't have sat front row, and I probably would have wound up late, because that damn 6 train takes 20 fucking years. Let's see. Like I said, I'd like to see a women's match. I don't know about that whole segment with Anthony Gamble, the last Bronx Italian, and Sean Donovan. Who knows where that's going to go? Or if it's going to lead up to November 8th. But obviously, I'll say this. We Are Wrestling has come back with a bang after taking the summer off. Peter Rosado, man, I think you and I need to get a picture together as well. Whether it's November 8th or if I somehow encounter you sooner. Oh, man. What else can I say about this event? La 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 la. Apologies, folks, but normally I would do these reviews right after coming home, or if I went to eat somewhere after a show. But due to the fact that I was so damn tired when I got home, it's like, once these shows are done, it's just like puddle of mud. Everything's so blurry. Can't remember everything, especially with the trip home, sleep, and all this other stuff. I hope we get it. With November 8th, I hope we'll have a bigger crowd. I mean, unless I'm mistaken, Peter, is it true that one of the shows you had earlier this year, it was so crowded they ran out of chairs? Okay, I think that'll do it, folks. But We Are Wrestling, the bridge is over. But then again, I've learned this about pro wrestling so many times. As that 1980s band, The Fix, said, one thing leads to another. We Are Wrestling. They let the wrestling speak.